Okay, we are recording.
Awesome, awesome. Hey everyone, this is Tammy Montgomery here, and I'm with a bunch of unstoppable people. I guess we're going to call this like our unstoppable Bitcoin group. And we did this similar meeting, although it was just four of us or five of us when we did the presentation last time. So this is pretty cool. We have a lot of people here on this awesome meeting, and it's nice to see faces. Hey Lawrence, I haven't seen you in a while. Wow, this is cool. So anyway, we're going to do a really precise, this is what I like to do. I like to get down to what is USI Tech. So we're going to have Sky Canyon give his presentation. Of course, he does these every single day at noon Eastern. So if you want to listen to a review, you can always pop on, and we're going to give you guys information for that. But tonight is something we kind of started a couple weeks ago, and it was an intention to just kind of bring a lot of folks that are, just learning about USI Tech for the first time, kind of wondering who are they working with as far as what kind of community do we have, what kind of people are you going to be working with, So we did this, I think it's been a couple weeks now, and Matthew David and Phil, they were on with us, and Sky and Larry, and with Susan and I. And so tonight is going to be where you're going to take away exactly what you can do next to get started in Bitcoin, okay? Right now, it's a big buzz out there on the internet. A lot of people, and even offline, I hear the Big Bang Theory is actually doing a show tonight. I got a text from a friend, and so right now is really good timing to learn about this. So what I call it is you're getting in on a trend, and it's all about timing. And we actually discuss this quite a bit in each call every time. Sky talks about it. We do it in trainings, and so the timing is really now. Now is the time to get involved. So I'm just really excited to have all you guys here tonight, and I appreciate everybody. So by the time you get done listening to Sky and Larry, and then I want Matthew David to come out, and anyone else that has success. I see Ann's on. A lot of our members, the cool part about this is that as soon as you purchase the product packages, the next day you're making money, okay? So literally, I've never been involved in anything where I can say every single team member is making money with us here, So it's very special that way. And so I'm going to pass it over to Sky right now. And Sky, I just love how you explain it, because when I first heard about it, I had to listen to it a couple times, I'll be honest. And I just was like, wow, I'm pinching myself, because I was always looking for something passive, passive. And then of course, what's growing now, as you can see, people are catching on to the fact that if they don't want to share it or they don't want to market it, they don't have to. So Sky, take it away.
Great. Well, thank you, Tammy. And of course, I'm here. And hello, everybody. This is Sky Canyon. I'm here with my business partner, Larry Rowland. And we're here to talk about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and really the USI opportunity. I'm going to share my screen right now, which I think will make it a whole lot more helpful here. And let me just see if I can, looks like I can share one of these things at a time. So, okay, let's just start right here. You should be seeing the Coinbase charts. Coinbase is a wallet. They're an exchange. And these are charts just showing you Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, which they handle. So, Tammy, let me ask you this question. Are we going back into some history on Bitcoin, or do we want to just kind of quick recap and get into USI?
I think it would be just a nice, especially because we're recording this. And of course, people that are going to listen to this recording, they're going to see different numbers. But I would like it if you go into a little bit of history. That'd be great.
Sure. Okay, so Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. What that means is it's crypto, which is like encoded. Well, it's been associated with secret, but what it really means is it's an encoded digital e-currency. And when we say currency, we're not really talking about fiat currencies like dollars and euros and yen and things like that. We're really talking about a different medium of digital asset and digital exchange. And it was created back in 08, 09, right during the big economic crisis and banking crisis and Wall Street crisis that was going on back at that time. And it was created as a way to exchange outside of the banks, actually outside of governments. It's not governed by any government on the planet, Bitcoin. It's not run by banks. It doesn't go through banks. It's peer-to-peer. And it was created as a medium of exchange. And, you know, the famous story about the original, one of the first, or maybe have been the very first Bitcoin transaction was somebody posted online that they wanted to get a couple pizzas, and they wanted to pay 10,000 Bitcoin, and it took 3 days before somebody responded, and they said, you know, is that not enough Bitcoin to buy 2 pizzas? Well, and by the way, I'm hearing a lot of noise on the phone here. Somebody's unmuted, I guess, and got some noise, so it would help if you could mute. And so they finally did. Somebody got them a couple of pizzas, and it was 10,000 Bitcoin, which right now, 10,000, let's round that, 10,000 Bitcoin times $10,000. Who's quick with the math? Are we talking $100 million here? Or are we talking, yeah, we're talking $100 million worth of Bitcoin. So that would have been good to just buy 1 pizza instead of 2 at the time, keep the rest of the other 5,000 Bitcoin. So that was the start. But Bitcoin was very much in the beginning operating in this complete techno geeky space that most people had no clue what this is all about. By the way, somebody can please mute your phone. There's a lot of noise in the background. So it was really not at all in the mainstream. It was very outside of that. Most people had no clue about it. If you actually heard about Bitcoin in the early days, 2009, 2010, 2011, there's probably a good chance that you didn't pay much attention to it, or maybe you did. I actually know people that bought Bitcoin really cheap. It was a dime, maybe it was $1, a few dollars, and then they sold it for really cheap. They had no clue. They thought, we were talking with a friend today, he said, oh yeah, when I heard about it, it was $250 for Bitcoin, which is now close to 10 grand. He said, I figured, oh, it's all over. It's way too expensive at $250. So a lot of people had a lot of ideas and missed the boat on it. Most of us did. We didn't realize what was really coming. So now here we have Bitcoin, which is, again, it's a medium, it's a digital medium of exchange of value. It's accepted by hundreds of thousands of merchants worldwide. You can pay for things with Bitcoin. Real estate transactions are actually occurring with Bitcoin. Purchasing cars, purchasing merchandise. Amazon has jumped on board. Overstock.com, more merchants are jumping on board. Well, what you have is an item, let's call it a product. It's really not a product. It's an economic medium that is in limited supply and will always be in limited supply with a rapidly expanding use and desire. The demand for Bitcoin is skyrocketing. Hence, back in March when Bitcoin, let's just take a look here, when Bitcoin in March was $1,000 or so, most people had no clue that it would actually hit 10,000 this year. The big talk among some of the pundits that we would listen to were, oh, it'll go to $2,000 in 2017. And I remember Larry and I had this conversation. Wow, that would be quite something. And sure enough, it did go to 2,000. Only it went to 2,000 in May, and it got to 5,000 by, let's just see here, got to 5,000 somewhere in, well, almost in September. It just missed it, but then it did hit, you know, in October, and it doubled since then into the last, you know, less than 2 months. So along the way, other coins came into existence. Ethereum started at, you know, under $1. Now Ethereum's $427. Litecoin. Again, there are now 1,200 cryptocurrencies out in the marketplace. They're used for all kinds of things. Some of them are used in commerce. Others are used for other kinds of exchange of digital assets and making the ability to move digital. A digital asset would be something that has value, but it's electronic. Being able to move these back and forth worldwide instantly and inexpensively and peer-to-peer. Again, there's no bank, there's no company, there's no government that runs Bitcoin. It's peer-to-peer. So that's a really nice element about it because it's inexpensive to move Bitcoin. You can do it quickly. You don't need to go to a bank to wire money to somebody. When you want to send them value, you can send them Bitcoin. And you can turn Bitcoin into cash really easily. So that's a little bit on Bitcoin and its history. It's electronic. Now let's talk about, and let me move over into the window here where I can change the, I'm going to stop that share, and now I'm going to share the, here we go. Okay. So, you know, one of the things about Bitcoin is that the value goes up and down. Literally, you could see it move $500, even $1,000 in a 24-hour period. Well, people that are looking to make money in the world of Bitcoin and speculate, and they're traders, you know, they've got several screens on their desktop, and they do it 24 hours a day, and they've got fancy algorithms running to try to time the market. We're not really doing that. Some people love to do that. It's definitely not what I like to do. I know Tammy's not into that. Larry, Susan, most of us, that's not what our focus is. But we would like to be able to earn and grow our Bitcoin and have more and more Bitcoin because we believe it will continue to go up in value. It could go to 20,000 in 2018. Maybe it'll go farther than that. Maybe it won't hit 20,000. We don't have a crystal ball. We just know that it's in limited supply and the demand is going wild. So what we want to show you here, transitioning into talking about USI Tech, is a way that we can participate, a way that we can be involved in the cryptocurrency economy, a way that we can start with some Bitcoin and multiply it. We can even acquire it without having to buy any. There's several ways you can work here and grow your Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin's going up in value and you had 1 Bitcoin today and you had 4 or 5 or 6 Bitcoin in a year from now, probably be a kind of a neat thing to have more Bitcoin down the road. Even if it stayed at the same price, it'd be a pretty neat thing to have more Bitcoin without buying it. And even if it went down and you wanted to be in Bitcoin, it'd be pretty nice to have leveraged and hedged against a drop in the price. So it's a lot of ways to win here in the Bitcoin world and in the cryptocurrency world. USI Tech is United Software Intelligence. So they didn't start in cryptocurrencies. They actually started in Forex trading, foreign exchange, yen, dollar, euro, all the trading, the Swiss franc, all the currencies that trade several $1 trillion every single day all around the world 24/7. Biggest economic market on the planet. That's where they started. They came up with a Forex trading software that's automated. Their customers originally were all people with $100,000 or greater accounts, and they would buy the software, they'd plug it into their own brokerage account, Forex brokerage account, and it would automatically trade their account, averaging 4 to 5% monthly earnings for their clients. Really pretty fantastic. And then they got into the they got into the cryptocurrency world more recently in the past year, and they got involved in cryptocurrency trading. Again, you know, various, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the other cryptos. They got into mining, Bitcoin mining, Ethereum mining. They got into arbitrage, which is where you play the differences between the various Bitcoin exchanges in the world, which are not regulated, which means, what that really means is that you might have an exchange and it might be there for literally minutes, very small amount of time. You might have an exchange in South Korea, we've seen this before, where the price is several $100s greater than it is on an exchange maybe in Europe or in America. Well, if you've got the leverage, meaning you've got a lot of coin and money, You can go and buy at the lower exchange, sell it at the higher, and make that difference. That's arbitrage. They, from time to time, make a fortune doing that. You don't always have those differences, but when they do, they can really make huge. I've met people personally that have done that. Of course, they didn't have the leverage that USI does, meaning millions of dollars to work with. So they came up after seeing that their clients were really much bigger players. They said, let's create a way for people to take advantage of the earnings we're making in the cryptocurrency world, and they came up with the BTC Package, and it's available worldwide. Let's talk about how the BTC Package works. Basically, you buy a BTC Package, which is really an agreement to pay you something by the company. You can start with as little as about $60 US of Bitcoin. So you're going to buy your BTC Package with Bitcoin, and they're going to pay you back in Bitcoin. And they're going to pay you approximately 1% every business day, 5 days a week, until you've received 140%. So if you started with 1 Bitcoin, which would be right now somewhere in the neighborhood of about 150 plus BTC packages, by the time they finish paying you 140%, you would have 1.4 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin, now 1.4, 40% more. That's by being paid out every single day, 5 days a week. It'll take about 140 business days, 6.5 months, but it might take a little longer and it might take a little less. It's just going to average about 1% a day. This is a fantastic return. Everybody perks up when they hear that they can actually make 40% on their Bitcoin and grow it by 40% in about a half a year, a little over half a year. However, they don't stop there. They give you the ability to actually compound your Bitcoin. So let's talk about Albert Einstein's 8th wonder of the world, which is compound interest. Now we're going to talk about the 9th wonder of the world. And I didn't make that up. That was really from our wonderful mentor, James Hardy. The 9th wonder of the world, yes, folks, compounding BTC packages. Here's how that works. So every day you're making about 1% on your package or packages. So let's take this example, 20 BTC packages. You buy them with Bitcoin. Every day you get paid out a little bit, about 1%. Well, in about 5 days, you're going to earn enough to rebuy another package. You'll be at 21 packages. Another 5 days or so, you'll have enough to buy another packages, 22. Again, that 1% keeps accumulating. Your daily earnings continue to grow and grow and grow to where you're buying in less number of days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. Eventually, you get to 100 packages. What's 1% of 100? It's 1. That means you're earning enough daily to buy another package. So 100 packages, next day, 101, 102. Well, let's look at the numbers on this. Day 1, you start with 20 packages, okay? By day 140, you're up to about 79 packages, about 4 times as many packages. And your Bitcoin has grown from your initial purchase, and in this example, 0.1773 amount of Bitcoin, 0.1773 of a Bitcoin to make those purchase of those 20 packages, you're up to 0.7. That's about 4 times more Bitcoin. Well, that's a lot more than 40% increase on your Bitcoin. That's a 400% increase on your Bitcoin in the same 140 days by simply allowing your account to rebuy packages as your daily earnings will do that. And by day 260, which is a calendar year, now you're at 120 packages that you've grown to, and that's a little over a Bitcoin from where you started, which is about a 6 times increase in the value of your Bitcoin in your account. Well, again, that's extraordinary. And you don't even have to believe me about that, because when you join for free, there is a package rebuy calculator in your back office. You can plug in any number of packages. You can tell it whether you want it to rebuy 100% with your earnings, using 100% of what you earn daily, or 50%, or 75%, or 25%. You can say, I don't think it's going to pay me 1% on average per day. I think it'll only pay me 0.9%. Great, plug that in. You can see 100 days out, 200 days out, 300 days out, what's actually going to happen in your account based on your own idea of where you might want to start, whether it's 20 packages or 200 packages or 1,000 packages. You can see the math. It will calculate the math for you and show you exactly what will happen there. So right now, we've talked about what you can do with USI Tech, literally with your own account. You're not having to qualify in any kind of way to be able to earn in your own account and do this all day long, forever. You can be a hermit. You can sit on a mountaintop in a cave as long as you have a laptop and Wi-Fi, and you can, or maybe it'll be a satellite phone and Wi-Fi. We'll have to figure that one out, right, Tammy? But you can do this all by yourself. So the second step that you have the opportunity to take is to refer people and earn commissions. Now, if you'd like to do that, you can refer everybody directly that you know, including people that you don't know. So anybody you'd like to refer directly, you're going to make 10% commission on every purchase that they make, and you're going to make a 10% commission on every rebuy. So again, let's go back here. So they bought 20 packages. You made 10% on that purchase. But over the next year, they set their account to compound. They bought actually another 120 packages. And the reason they bought another 120, not just 100, if you're doing the math and following this, is those original 20 packages completed by day 140. They paid out their 140% and they were done. But all of those earnings rebought more packages. So you got paid on another 120 packages, 10% on those. You can imagine how this can really compound over time. If you want to earn beyond just the people that you directly refer, you don't have to spend anything. All you need to do is refer 3 people that buy just 12 BTC packages each, and they will be your direct referrals, but that will open up level 2 and 3 for you to earn on. And you can continue to open up more levels to earn on all the way down to 12 simply with each new person that you refer. So the 4th person that you refer and they buy 12 packages, that opens up the 4th level for you, and so on down to 12. So again, you do not have to make purchases at any time in order to open up all of these earnings in the compensation plan. And there are no caps, there are no restrictions on what you can earn. If you can imagine it, you can create it. I didn't make that statement up, but most people know that that's true. Or at least they're working towards making that true. One of the important things about USI Tech is, who the heck are these guys? What are they involved in? And why should I be paying attention to any of this? Which is a really great question that all of us ask right at the beginning. So USI Tech has branded themselves the future of cryptocurrency for really good reason. They are an international financial services company. They are becoming a cryptocurrency exchange and getting an international banking license. They will be rolling out branded Bitcoin ATM machines worldwide. They've got artificial intelligence app in the Forex world. They'll probably have others as well. May become a new product available to us in the first quarter of 2018. They have proprietary exclusive cryptocurrency mining technologies that they are working with, specifically around the reduction of electricity costs and the recapture of all the heat that gets generated by these many racks of GPUs that are used in Bitcoin and Ethereum mining, which makes it very profitable for them, simply because, I think somebody's drawing on here, that's interesting. It makes it very profitable for them because the highest costs aside from once you buy the equipment, in cryptocurrency mining are electricity and dealing with the heat that gets generated. So the company has already $70 million into mining equipment, and they have committed another $250 million over the next 12 months into both more mining and other technologies that are leading edge technologies for the cryptocurrency world. This has positioned them, all of this activity in becoming really a major player in the cryptocurrency world, has positioned them to create an ICO, an initial coin offering. So in the coin world, it's an ICO. In the stock world, it would be like an IPO, an initial public offering with stocks. Here it's an ICO. Well, it's called TechCoin. And before it becomes an ICO, it's actually a token. So before it's a coin, it's a token. It's available only to USI Tech members until they've sold through their first 500 million tokens, of which they've sold 60 million, 61 million actually now in the first 30 days. And it's pretty nice opportunity there. There are some bonuses baked into some of the plans, into the packages for token purchases, and you can see that in the back office. It's all available. So that's who this company is. They're not thinking small. They are thinking very big in the cryptocurrency world. And we like working with them for all of that, plus the fact, as Tammy can speak to, and Larry can speak to, and myself, we've met the owners. We've had private meetings with them. We've had dinner with them. We work with them. They're transparent and accessible. Really big piece for us. That was actually one of the leading pieces as we got involved almost 6 months ago. We said, we need to know who these people are and what are they all about and what's their track record and what's their vision and where are they going and do we have access? And the answer is yes, we do. And that's made probably, aside from a great program, which is huge, it's made a big difference in our ability to move forward, be very confident in working with a company that we know is positioning themselves to be a leader. And in fact, the fact that, you can earn passively on your own account. There's no requirements. Start with one BTC package, start with 100, start with 200. Whatever you can do, what you're comfortable with, you're going to earn starting the same day, 1% a day on average. And you can manage your account earnings any way you want. You can withdraw your Bitcoin. You can rebuy packages. You can do both of those. You can buy BTC packages for other people, family, friends. I mean, it's really simple and flexible, and it's always flexible, meaning you can decide to do one thing today and you can decide something different tomorrow with what you do with your earnings. So with that, I want to turn it back to Tammy and just say, we're having a lot of fun, which I think is really important when you're working with a company and spending a lot of time. We're having a lot of fun, great teammates that we work with. Tammy's a phenomenal leader. We're having a lot of success working with this and growing our businesses, and it's a great company. So there you have it. Tammy, I'm going to stop the share on this screen and turn it back to you.
Awesome. I get excited every time I see that. Thank you so much, Sky. I think really bottom line is the way that you have to look at this is it's gonna kind of set you free. Can you guys hear me okay? Just want to make sure.
Yes.
All right, cool. And if everyone can just kind of stay muted until the end, we are going to take a few questions. If you guys do have any questions, you can start putting them into the chat group here on the side. If you need to mute, it's at the bottom of the left. So I love your name, Satoshi. You're the one that invented Bitcoin. That's pretty cool. We got him on the line. Yeah, so when we talk about transparency, I just wanted to say that, I love the fact that the company owners go to events and they get to meet us. And so I got to go to Valley Forge, I got to go to London, and, I just really think that in all simpleness here, to say that USI Tech wants to be the biggest cryptocurrency company, to give this kind of offering. So I think we're at the right place at the right time. And so what I'm going to do right now is, and I can't see, this is weird, the screen. I'm just trying to see who's who. There's Susan. Okay. There we are, second page. Susan and I just want to say, Susan and I started back in July, and her and I we're just thrilled with what we've been able to accomplish with USI Tech. Susan, did you want to say anything before we start passing around to some of our team members in that tonight?
Sure. And thank you, Tammy. Yeah, and I guess at this point, what I would like to say, because you've said pretty much everything else, and thank you, Sky, again for that excellent presentation. It's so helpful to hear it repeatedly. So, for those of you that are here, whether you're here for the first time or whether you've heard that presentation a number of times, just know that it is, first of all, it is worth your time to hear it again and again, because the more comfortable you get in hearing it, the more comfortable you will be inviting people to these presentations. And don't feel like you have to do that presentation. That's the value of building here together. All you have to do is get excited, invest time, and whatever money you choose. Excuse my little beast here.
That's good.
I'll just quiet him. I'll be right back. I have more to say.
Sure. Awesome. Yeah, she got this little miniature, cute little dog. You know, that's the we call him the mascot.
He
got a
is
little dog,
he's
and I have a
so
bulldog.
loud for such a little being.
He does. He makes a lot of noise.
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. So I guess mostly what I want to impress upon you is the value of what we have here. So not only do we have a great company and some owners that Sky just finished saying how accessible they are, and Tammy has had an opportunity to meet them and just really feel their energy and how excited they are. But look at how many people we have showing up here today, and this is just a fraction of our members. This is what we have. Your questions will be answered. We're here to support you. Tammy and I absolutely love helping people and watching people create this kind of freedom. It's just, it gives me shivers every time I think about what the potential is for each one of you if you just feel that energy and take it. And all you have to do is invite people to these presentations. You don't have to do any of the telling or explaining or anything. We're just surrounded by incredible leaders. So yeah, just tap into that and use this as a resource. I think our plan is to continue moving forward with these with this edition of this style. It's just a different format. It makes it just a little different twist, I guess, because you can see some faces and you can hear Bear bark and interrupt. So yeah, that's what I would like to just add is just tap into that, and all you have to do is invite.
Awesome. Yes.
I would like to make a comment. This is Sky again. I want to make a comment about doing presentations like this. So the very first time I did a presentation like this a number of months ago on this, it was very interesting. I've shared this, I think, once before. James called me 10 minutes before. He says, I can't make the call. You do the presentation. And after freezing for a couple minutes, I said, oh, okay. And I remember, and Larry was there with me on the call, and I felt like probably the biggest idiot on the planet because I felt like I realized what I didn't know, and that I was trying to piece information together in a way that I just was not prepared. I didn't have it in my, I don't need to be in front of a screen to walk through this presentation, but you know, I didn't have it at all in my being as to do it. And so I was just sort of, I could not wait to get off the call, and I ended it as quickly as I possibly could. And afterwards just literally felt like a total idiot. And I realized, okay, I do want to step up and be able to do this. And it took a while for me to learn. And, you know, like anything that you want to master, you're always learning. And when you do it, you kind of go, okay, what could I do better? What could I, you know, how can I tweak this? And hopefully you get feedback that helps you do that. And I can, you know, I'm a professional musician. I know what it's like to learn something and spend a lifetime, you know, continuing to master something. And just like that, you know, doing a presentation. So some of you may actually find that somewhere down the road, it's you doing a presentation, whether it's on a Zoom call or a live meeting with a group of people locally, you know, where 10, 20, 30, 50 people come. So I just want to plant the seed for you that anything is possible here if you find that you really like this and gradually learn to love what this is all about. Let yourself become an expert to whatever degree that works for you. Not everybody's meant to be up in front of rooms doing presentations, but that may be something that's for you. So just responding a little bit there in terms of, Susan, what you were sharing, yes, there are a number of us that do this thing. We expect there to be even more people doing this. So that's it. That's all I want to say on that.
Absolutely. And that is a great thing to plant right there, Sky, because just a few years ago, I would have told you that you were crazy if you told me that I was going to have video meetings like this and host them and speak and present. So definitely step out of your comfort zone. And in the meantime, don't hesitate to invite people and use this as a resource.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, a similar meeting to this, actually, I think there was a lot of people like this that Susan and I met like 3 years ago. So next year will be 4 years, I think. So, the thing is meetings like this, it's not only makes you comfortable, makes you really love your USI Tech business even more. I know every time I do one, it just, it makes me just very grateful that we do have something like this right now. So it's kind of ironic that in 2009 is when I lost one of my businesses, and then in 2009, this is when Bitcoin was created. And so essentially Bitcoin, I see one of the questions, it's a currency. So, it's just like the internet. When the internet was actually born, we were all like, there'd be no way we could be meeting, right? I'm in New York, Susan's in Canada, we're business partners, and there'd be no way that her and we wouldn't have even met if there wasn't something called the internet. So, when you think about what you have in your hands here, it's a currency, and we can make money with it. We can multiply the actual Bitcoin. And so, Sky, you did a great presentation. I love it. I love the fact that one day he texted me, said, "Can you cover?" And I did. I freaked out. But there's parts of it that I can deliver, and there's parts of it, and that's why I do repetition too, repetition. So once you start understanding what you can do, once you start getting your Bitcoin into the USI Tech platform, you can sign up for free tonight. You can get back to the person that invited you here. You can sign up. You can get your account going. Most of you guys have your account. You can get it funded with Bitcoin. We can answer questions on that. But I really want to have Matthew David talk next. And Matthew, you and I have been connecting on Facebook back and forth a little bit. I love watching your YouTube videos. They're awesome. Just wanted you to, tell everybody why you're so excited. I mean, I see your passion. I'm like, wow, he just did another video. And so, just tell everybody tonight, why is it you're so excited about USI Tech?
Well, the reason I'm excited about USI Tech, first of all, check that out. Look at that. That is a Bitcoin.
I got
it's
one.
It's not the Bitcoin. Yeah. So anyway, this is why it's so exciting. Back, in 2009, that's a monumental year for a lot of people. We had the bank crash, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin was developed. I was bedridden with Lyme disease, and, I lost everything, my house, my car, my health. And what happened was, in that process, I started to do entrepreneurship from my couch, and I started to learn how to get good at some things. And I made, several companies that did millions in sales. And then along the way, I thought, what do I do to help people that, really never had their back against the wall? Because the blessing is the curse and the curse is the blessing. So because it got so painful for me, I found it so easy to find that inner strength within to go out and do things that are not usually within the reach of most people's comfort zone, because I was so in discomfort all the time that it was very comfortable for me to do virtually anything, because I was so happy to be doing anything. And then when I started to figure out that my friends were getting rich in Bitcoin about 6-7 months ago, and I'm talking very, very rich in Bitcoin, and they told me that I was completely missing the boat. I need to stop doing all my internet stuff and start looking at cryptos and start becoming an investor and start learning this stuff. I thought, wow, that's a big shift. And so I started getting into Bitcoin, and I started seeing the opportunity, and I've been devouring the information. And this is what it breaks down to. As the average person looking for a way to get ahead, this is what everybody wants. Everybody wants a Bitcoin. A lot of people do Zoom meetings all the time. They're in some network marketing company. They're all, getting together and making things happen. But I'll tell you what, this is the only opportunity that I know of where people are doing it and they're actually all making money. I'm saying all people that put packages in are getting something in return for it day one. And that does not happen in other companies. And in other companies, you have to try to sell everything to other people. I don't need any more oils or any more supplements or anything else like that. I've got so much of that stuff. And if another company comes along, I'm sorry, but I'm totally invested where the action is. And right now, the greatest transfer in wealth is happening right now, right here. And it's happening in the cryptocurrency space. And you've seen it happen with the rise of, $773 Bitcoin was at the beginning of the year, I think at the end of 2016. Now it's over $10,000 fluctuating around there. And you just want to get a piece of the action. But here's what's even better than that. As Sky said, the reason why I like this is because I have a lot of people in my family that, for instance, my mom came to me and says, I want to get into Bitcoin. What do I do? My mom doesn't have a lot of money. And the beauty of that is she doesn't need a lot of money. She can get involved in a platform like this that manages everything from her wallet to the security of everything to giving her a support group and, showing her how to multiply the Bitcoin. So if my mom gets on board, which I'm going to present this to her soon, and then my brother gets on board, my mom can actually earn some Bitcoin. And what I'm excited is I've been in since 11/11, and it's been really kind of like a side thing for me. But check it out. I've almost earned a Bitcoin already. And I'm talking not this one, not the fake Bitcoin that looks like a gold piece. The real digital Bitcoin, I've almost earned a full Bitcoin just by simply, inviting some people. And a lot of people that have gotten in really are starting to get acclimated now, and they're starting to get involved. And what I'm excited about is they're going to win from day one. So what happens when you bring people on board and they start winning? It creates a vicious prosperity cycle that comes back to you. And in a nutshell, that's my 2 cents, and that's why I'm super excited for everybody.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, you're I guess you could say your passion kind of turned from, like helping others with their health. And that's what's, I think, so cool about, I know you study a lot of attraction. Susan does too, Sky, like Larry, like literally you took your passion that you had for getting better in health, and you and Susan have so much in common with that, because actually she was in a car crash and she had to actually learn how to make a living from home, because she made her first $10,000 on her laptop. So you and Susan have like the same similar stories. That's why I was like the other day, I was like, wait, this is going to be a great Zoom, because I think a lot of times people have to realize that, that if you're having a struggle or your industry, all of a sudden the bottom, wipes out like it did with mine, there's something to plug into. And we have something so simple for the average. If you can click a mouse, this is what I tell people, if you can click a mouse, you can make money with USI Tech. It's that simple. So that's awesome.
Plus, yeah, and if you want to get healthy, sometimes the best thing you can do is get your finances healthy so that you can afford to, have the time for yourself. Because a lot of what helped me was getting my finances right so I could take the space between me and all the stress of the world and heal. And what I see most common these days is people with all the pressure and of finances and the worry and the uncertainty, they really need a vehicle and something that really is point click, like you said. And this is it. It's so easy.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure you probably had the same experience like a year ago. I was looking into how do you mine it, and how do you do this, and how do you do that. I remember being on a webinar, and I said, oh my gosh, I looked at my husband and I said, I don't get it. I said, what do you mean we got to buy all this equipment, stuff like that? It was like $7,000, $8,000. I was like, some of it was like $20,000. You don't need any of that here. You don't need equipment, so it's just a beautiful thing. So yeah, do you have anything else to add? I know you got Phil up there. Phil is actually one that introduced you to USI Tech, and he's an awesome guy. Phil, did you want to say tonight?
Well, yeah. Matthew David, how's it going?
I'm good, Phil. Nice to see you again.
You too. You know, it's funny. I met Matthew David because I was telling Tammy in a text today. I'm in the corporate world right now, and I sell drugs, legal drugs, and it's been a pretty good living. But reality kind of hit me in the face when I was laid off a couple times. And so anyway, I got back into the world of biotechnology with pharmaceuticals, and I was kind of stuck. And that's when I reached out to Matthew David and as a business coach. And then shortly after that, I reached out to Tammy. And guys, I've been doing a lot of homework on USI Tech and Bitcoin. And I'm a believer, you know, because when you come across something like this, it's almost too good to be true. It sounds like it's too good to be true. But from, you know, doing my homework, and I know Matthew David does a lot of research, listening to some of the owners and you know, how they make money mining. And, the CEO actually talked about how he likes the fluctuations because in USI business, they like to buy low and sell high. That's their expertise. So they're not afraid of, you know, Bitcoin going from 9,000 up to 11 back down. That's actually good for us as a business. But so it's been a long time, guys, since I've really been excited. Corporate world's been good to me, but the corporate world has changed significantly over the last few years. There's no longer any loyalty. And so I think we're shifting towards a society where we really do have to take care of ourselves. And the internet, and I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is going to set kind of the foundation for that for a lot of people. And I hate to use a cliche, but I really do think this is the right time, the right place.
I think you're right. And you touched on something I wanted to bring up too, is when you talked about the volatility, look what happened. I think, you know, the big whales are here. The big investors are in the market, and they're going to make some big, you know, things happen. And you're going to see these fluctuations. And the average person, like I would not want to see my mom getting into Bitcoin and watching it go from, you know, 14,000 down to 10,000 and then have her say, what's going on, and panic and then sell it. And so I'd rather see her open up her browser every day and say, oh, I made $200 today. This is great, Matthew.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't have to ride the highs and the lows like the traders are doing. Let USI Tech do that for us. Who would like to answer Mark Pierce's question there? We got a couple of them here. Should we start into the questions? Does anyone else want to pop out and give their
those are good questions. And just just before we start those, Tammy, if you don't mind, I'd like to jump into 2 points, and yet they're the kind of the same point that Matthew and Phil both brought up.
Sure.
And it would be good if you didn't have to wait until you either get laid off from your job or have a major illness or injury or something that interferes with that. But there's a common thread that many of you can relate to, and that Phil and Matthew and I have, and something happened and it interfered with our ability to make income, our ability to make money. And so what we have here at our fingertips is the ability to create some ongoing, it keeps on growing and growing and growing. So that is a security that many people don't have. And you should not take that lightly. It is huge. In 2005, when I had my car accident, and then it was about 4.5 months later, I was diagnosed with MS. As a single mom, not being able to work in my career anymore, not being able to work in my profession, what do you do? What do you do at that point? And all of the medical specialists, I went to so many, I can't even count them anymore. And they just kept on telling me, well, this is it. This is as good as it gets. So I had no ability to make money. And the healthcare system was telling me, this is it. This is as good as it gets. So I'm going to be stuck in my bed. How am I going to raise my kids? How am I going to provide money? So it did. It took me years to figure out my answers. And I had to figure it out all on my own. I didn't have the resources, the economics, or the knowledge to figure it out. So it took me years. Once I created that first amount of income so that then I could pay for and fund my own health care, then I was on my way. So I will never let myself be back in that position again. And having a company and resources and people like this so that I can help other people find that is just, it's amazing. It's like, I will not ever stop telling people and teaching people and helping people gain that security to create their own economy so that they aren't lost and stuck. That's what I have to say on that.
That's awesome. And Larry, this is Larry Rowland as Sky's business partner. So Larry, what would you like to say about USI Tech? You and I met in Valley Forge, and I'm telling you, it was really an honor. I think we had more laughs. I'm telling you, when we started thinking about this, it's almost you get giddy, you know. So just if you can kind of give your experiences here with USI Tech, Larry, that'd be awesome.
Sure, Tammy. Yeah, meeting you and your husband there in Valley Forge, that was great. And here's what I think. I mean, you know, everybody comes at this, you know, cryptocurrency world a little bit different. And when Sky was talking about it earlier, people not knowing quite what it was. Well, my background somewhat was in currency trading. After I sold my company, I got involved with a group, and they were doing traditional Forex. And gradually we started hearing more about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and they started trading in that as well. And so I knew it was highly profitable, but also real complex to you know, make a living at it. And so, you know, Sky and I went looking for a company. I mean, we were proactively looking for a company and really only found one, USI Tech, that was a real company and capitalized and had a real business plan and the things you would typically look for. But, you know, on the marketing side, so we're fortunate we found it. There's just nothing else out there that has a similar platform or plan. But, you know, what we're finding more and more, the takeaway with people is there's really three different plans here. There's three opportunities. One is just to become a customer. I mean, what a great opportunity to just become a customer and have BTC packages and up to 5 times your amount of Bitcoin in a year, regardless of the price of Bitcoin. I mean, that is a unique and genius concept that the founders of USI Tech came up with. And so, you know, there's nothing wrong with just being a customer and growing your wealth. But then look at it from the affiliate point of view. Let's say you're somebody that doesn't care much about network marketing, but you think you're a great salesperson or a financial services rep, like we have a lot of people get involved with, and you simply attract customers, and your intent's not really to build an organization, but simply to attract customers. Well, 10% commission, guys, I mean, it's unheard of to have a 10% potentially increasing residual commission. As the BTC packages compound, your commission from each customer would increase. And so we have people already, Sky knows who I'm talking about. We hear from him every once in a while. He's not really building a team, but he has a lot of just pure customers. And, you know, he announced to us earlier in the week, he's actually retiring from his position at his real job and going full-time into USI Tech because he's making more money. So this is very, very possible. Obviously, what most of us are really excited about is the ability to build a big downline and build a team, because this unilevel compensation plan really is unmatched. It puts all the incentives in the right places to build a team and to help your other teammates. And so, you know, I think you can look at this like, you know, different aspects of the compensation plan appeal to different people, but there really truly is something there for everybody. And we really don't find, and Tammy, I know this is the case with you and Susan, we really don't find much resistance. People are very interested, or they're very curious, and they can get involved at whatever level that they find their comfort zone.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think we've had one no.
Yeah.
It's really quite amazing. It really is. It's I pinch myself. I wake up in such an amazing mood every single day, you know. It's like I mean, it's like Christmas every day, to be honest, when you log into your back office of USI Tech. Really
Yeah,
amazing.
Susan made a good point too, and I think it's really important at first because Bitcoin is new to most people. You really don't have to know much. We have people making good
No.
money, and and honest to gosh, they don't know much of anything about Bitcoin or the compensation plan, but they are good at inviting people to calls and bringing their friends, and you can learn as you go. And so I think Susan's point is good. You can become an expert later, but you can start inviting people to webinars and calls and these events that you guys do and start having success with it.
Absolutely.
Let's do some of the questions. Let's handle some of these questions.
Yeah, we better get to that.
Here's one. I like this question. It's actually addressed to you, Matthew. It says, Matthew, why is USI not a Ponzi scheme? How can it go on indefinitely? Matthew, if you'd like to answer that, feel free. If you don't, I'd be happy to.
Well, according to my knowledge, I believe it's because of the volatility trading software and also the utility of mining. But I'll let you take over because that's my short answer, and I'm sure you have a better, more detailed one.
Well, that's a great start. It's true. Let's talk about what a Ponzi scheme is. So one of the issues that we run into all the time is people will say things like, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme or it's a pyramid. And I realize in short order, they actually don't even know what these terms really are most of the time. They just throw them out because it sounds like something out there that didn't work and people got ripped off and the thing crashed. So a Ponzi scheme essentially is where the only money that comes in, or here, of course, it's Bitcoin, it's not dollars, but the only funds that come in to pay people are coming from new people joining, meaning it's a business that doesn't do business. Well, here you have a business that actually does business. They're in mining. They are in arbitrage and trading. They are making millions of dollars or in the form of current Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum and other cryptos doing the business of the company. Now, that said, this question would apply to every company on the planet that is a network marketing company. Aren't they just recruiting new people and that's how they pay everybody? Well, we all know that most network marketing companies, not all of them, most of them actually have products. They have products that might be health products, supplements, hair care, skin care. They might be water filters. There are any number of things out there. They're in the business of selling those products. So let's talk about, people always get scared. I think this is actually a really good topic because people go, well, they're paying commissions out, so it must be a pyramid or a Ponzi. Well, guess what? Companies have different ways that they spend money on marketing their products. Some companies go spend $1 million a minute on a Super Bowl ad to sell beer or Pepsi or whatever the heck it is. And they spend a fortune on other TV or newspaper advertising and or mailers and on and on and on. That's how they spend the dollars on marketing their products. USI Tech spends zero on all of those things. Instead, it takes those same dollars and it says, we're going to pay the people that want to refer this out, and we're going to pay out about 35%. It's not about, exactly 35% in commissions when new purchases are made. Well, in the network marketing world, 35% is kind of normal. In fact, there are companies that pay out even more than that, 40%, 45%. So this is a normal way of doing business. So the Ponzi issue is only applicable when you actually have something where there is no product, there is no company doing any business out in the world. So that answers that pretty much. I'm going to move on. There's another couple questions that I thought were really, really good. If I understand it correctly, you still get about a 1% payout daily regardless of the price of Bitcoin. It's just that if the price skyrockets to 15 or 20K, the rebuy for us is going to be more expensive, correct? That's a fantastic question because people always they look at this, they go, how does this really work? And the answer is no, it doesn't get more expensive. And here's why. A BTC package is 50 euro worth of Bitcoin. So whatever the price of Bitcoin, in fact, whatever the relationship of the dollar to the euro is, it's always 50 euro worth of Bitcoin. So which right now is about $60 worth of Bitcoin. So let's take an example. If Bitcoin is at $10,000, which is right in that neighborhood, it takes X amount of Bitcoin to buy a package. If Bitcoin doubles to $20,000 in value, what that means is since the package is still 50 euro, it takes now half the amount of Bitcoin to buy that same package because Bitcoin doubled. So you only need half the Bitcoin to buy that package. Or it means if you're earning Bitcoin, your same Bitcoin will buy you twice as many packages. So this is kind of the neat thing we talk about, that we don't have to time the market. We really don't, because whatever you pay in Bitcoin on any given day for packages, you're going to earn approximately 1% of that amount of Bitcoin. And over that 140-day time frame, approximate time frame, you're going to have 40% more Bitcoin. So if you paid 1 Bitcoin for a number of packages, you'll have 1.4. But now, down the road, Bitcoin is twice the price. Maybe you only paid a half a Bitcoin for the same number of packages. You're going to have a half a Bitcoin plus another 40% on that. So you're always earning more Bitcoin. The point being that as Bitcoin price goes up, you can buy more packages with the same amount of Bitcoin. So it's really kind of a unique, and, who would have thought of this other than Horst, sitting up in his kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning and going, hey, here's something really cool. So that's the answer. You're always paying the same amount if you're thinking in euros or pretty much dollars, and you're either paying more Bitcoin or less Bitcoin. So you don't lose at this because you're always earning more Bitcoin no matter what you spend on it. Can people who have invested in Bitcoin join USI? And are there other Bitcoin exchanges doing what USI is doing on the affiliate side? Well, USI is actually going to become an exchange. However, they are not right now. But there are no other exchanges that we've ever seen. In fact, we've not seen any companies doing what USI is doing. And if you've already invested in Bitcoin, absolutely. Now you have the Bitcoin, you can just use that to buy BTC packages and or tokens from USI. Very simple. Are the company planning to combine BTC trading with other financial products? Well, that's actually a good question. When you buy a Bitcoin package, a BTC package, you're buying it with Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin stays in the cryptocurrency world. In other words, whatever the company is doing, whether it's arbitrage or trading, they're in the cryptos. They're not converting that to cash, to dollars. However, they do have a Forex product coming out. What we don't know is whether we buy in with Bitcoin or we buy in with something other than that. Knowing this company, we're probably still buying in with Bitcoin. They're just using their earnings in the Forex world. The fiat currency system is a Ponzi scheme. Many corporations are Ponzi schemes, big pharma, medical industry, all the big parasitical entities. That was not a question. I would consider that a statement of fact. I know we're recording this, but the largest Ponzi scheme actually on the planet is the international banking system. And that's not me just making an opinion. That is what a Ponzi is fiat currency is a Ponzi system. So by investing into Bitcoin through USI, they invest that money into mining and it gives us a percentage. We get compounded interest. We're not getting compound interest. We are earning a percentage, approximately 1% a day, and we can compound that by buying more packages. So every package pays you about 1% per day. If you had 100 packages, it's paying you X. If you had 1,000 packages, it's paying you 10 times X per day. When can we meet the traders who trade for USI? I'm going to say that the chances are, well, I know Ralph is one of their chief tech guys and traders, but I'm not actually sure if he's doing the trading or not. And outside of that, I would say that's probably proprietary and not likely. That would be my guess. Larry, you think otherwise?
Probably never would be
That's
my
what
answer.
I would say.
Yeah, and not significant. More and more of the company's revenues from the mining operations anyway.
That's true.
And more of the trading is going to be done with artificial intelligence, you know, to take advantage of all the micro swings. So.
That's what I see on the questions. I don't think I missed any there, but Susan and Tammy, Matthew, everybody, feel free to add anything to any of that.
Okay. I can say I met Ralph in London. He's a very nice gentleman. He actually spoke on stage, and he talked a lot about, oh my gosh, there was slide after slide after slide that Ralph went over. I think he had a 40-minute presentation on his background. See, you got to understand something. USI Tech, before the BTC packages, I know Sky explained this, but it was all strictly Forex. So, you know, when the crypto markets came about, they just couldn't miss the boat. So,
yeah.
But his expertise, I mean, the guy is brilliant. His expertise in Forex, and, you know, they're going to be, like you said, coming out with that product. But it just blew my mind. I mean, I was taking pictures even though we weren't supposed to. And I have them on my phone, so I always reference them. And, you know, the guy knows how to read charts. Let me just tell you that. Okay. So, and I've done Forex trading. I tried that a few years ago, and it just, didn't have the patience for it. I didn't have the emotional, you know, just to sit there and look at charts and the candles and things like that. But the guy's brilliant. He really is. I also got to meet Mike Kiefer, which is, he showed me his phone at Valley Forge, and he showed all of his, he's the first one in, of course, of the owners. So he had, you know, tens of thousands of people, you know, right there on his USI Tech phone. There's, I think, over 500,000 members now in USI Tech.
Hey, here's a nice question. This is one of my favorite questions. How are the gains treated by the IRS? Do you have to report all the USI BTC gains as capital gains? Well, it's kind of like everything with the IRS. You answer the question, what did you earn? And then the answer is send it in, okay? So, just kidding, even though we all kind of feel that way, right? So right now, and we know that this could change, but right now they look at Bitcoin as a property. So yes, when you earn in Bitcoin, you're still in the Bitcoin world. It's still a property. When you sell Bitcoin and you actually turn it into dollars, now you have not necessarily a taxable event, but you have something that potentially requires reporting. I'm not a CPA. You always want to get with your accountant, your CPA, and talk this through. But what they have said thus far is it's a property, you sell it, you have a basis. You paid $1,000 and now you sold it and you have $2,000. Theoretically, you have a $1,000 gain from $1,000 to $2,000. Was it short term as ordinary income? Did it let go over a year that you held the Bitcoin and now it's a long-term capital gain? Do you have expenses against that? I mean, you know, all those normal things you would do with any kind of a property. So there's no one answer, but that's what we understand from all the CPAs we've ever talked to thus far about this. Self-directed Roth IRA. I do not believe you can do that. You probably can buy Bitcoin, but I don't think you can buy USI BTC packages specifically.
Soon they'll probably be able to have their Roth funds in Bitcoin, but I don't know of any, you know, major places that would do that right now.
Oh, let's see. Is it possible that big government could shut this company down with my money in it? Well, USI is not a USA company. It's chartered in the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Their main office, their administrative office is in Dubai. They have a number of employees there. They've got employees and third-party contract employees all over the world. But the USA is not an operational ground for them as far as a business entity. And as you can probably imagine, that's for very good reason. Yeah, Matthew, I totally agree.
I agree, Matthew.
They almost didn't come into the USA. They were advised to just avoid the United States.
Yes, they were.
For all the reasons that everybody would know about. But Horst said, Tammy, you remember, Larry,
yep.
Horst said right on stage there at Valley Forge, he said, you know, we like the USA. We like the people in the USA. We want to be operating here. So the first thing they did is hire a lot of attorneys to tell them, how do we operate here in the USA and be compliant? That was kind of their biggest focus right at the beginning. Dan Hunt, our wonderful North American leader, Dan and his wife Patty are probably, and particularly Dan, is probably responsible for the fact that the USI is operating in the United States, because he spent hundreds of hours with the attorneys, fairly thanklessly, working his butt off, not getting paid to do that, to help interface with USI and all of their attorneys worldwide, meaning in Europe, in Asia, in America, to make all of their different kinds of processes and procedures compliant, which every country's got their own laws. The USA has its own unique set of laws, so they had to really go through all that.
Yes. And if anyone needs a copy of the attorney's letters, opinion is what they call it, attorney's opinion.
Yeah, the opinion.
Then
yeah, the excerpt.
Just contact your leader, your sponsor, and we can get that information for you.
See, what is the likelihood the price will go down to 5,000 in the near future? Wow, who knows? Could that happen? It could happen. I don't know. I have no idea. It's a dynamic market. However, what I believe is that if Bitcoin got hit down to 5,000, I think people would jump in and grab it up and drive the price right back up. This is what we've seen happen consistently since we started really working in this arena in March. Is the price will go up, people would take profits, it would drop, boom, everybody come in and buy and drive it right back up.
I hope it does, because I'm going to be buying up a bunch.
Yep.
And then putting in the USI Tech. Actually, when we first got in, I think it was, what was it, Susan, in July? It was around the 3,000 mark, something like that?
Yeah.
33, 34.
Okay. 33, 34, that's right. So, yeah, I mean.
More than triple.
Yeah, exactly. More than triple, yep. Yeah, it'd be a great time to buy, exactly, Danny. All right. Well, it looks like all the questions were answered, and I think we can call it a night. I mean, this has been amazing. I always have fun. You know, I think that everybody here got a lot of value. Yeah, exactly. Start talking about Bitcoin. You know, right now it's the buzzword. You know, it's the buzzword out there. And hey, Joel. Hey, Joel in Michigan's here, Susan. Cool. Yeah, so in tomorrow morning, Sky and Larry and James, they do a great job of the presentation. So if you guys want to write this number down, you probably have it. I should have it memorized. I have it on my phone, Sky. It's 515. You want me to type it in here? 515-604-9872. And then there's a PIN number you have to put in. It's 722289. So I'll put it in here. Anyone have any final questions? Anyone want to come out and say hi? Or I think we're pretty much we've covered everything, and it's been great. So I'm just going to put this in here.
There's a quick question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can we purchase these packages as an organized entity like an LLC? Well, technically you come in as an individual and you have to provide your own, picture ID, that kind of know your customer stuff. But yes, the answer is if you want to have it in an LLC, you can certainly do that.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
What's the fastest way for someone to get their packages that doesn't really know? Is it Coinbase or is it the new the wallet, the Payza? Is that what it's called, Payza? Yes. What's the best way for people to do this that really don't understand how to do this?
Good question.
Larry, I'm going to turn this.
Well, you know, Matthew, I would say Payza. One, it's free to open an account. And USI Tech did make the determination, you know, to integrate it into back office. And so it's from what I understand and the experience people are reporting back, it is pretty smooth and user-friendly and seamless. And there are a lot of other uses for Payza anyway. You know, it's internationally available in most every country. And so there are other PayPal type uses for it anyway, but they do have their own e-wallet, and you can definitely link your credit card or your checking account to it and purchase Bitcoin. And then from that Payza account, then you can buy the BTC packages with USI Tech. That's probably the easiest, simple, you know, quickest way to do it. For people wanting to buy larger amounts, they may impose some limits. We just haven't seen that yet. And then if that's the case, you know, you could talk upline. We have sources, you know, they could do larger amounts as well.
Yeah,
but that's not to say Coinbase works. It's just, as we all know, it's kind of cumbersome and slow sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to say that about Coinbase. I'm not a fan of Coinbase myself, but what I think is probably the fastest way, especially if you're going to fund any, I helped Matthew David, your gentleman, yesterday with this. So if you're talking, you know, 100 packs or 200 packs, we have, like Larry just said, someone in upline, and we can get you the person's number, and it's just, it really works really well. Sort of like a Bitcoin broker, if you want to call it, gentlemen. But anytime that when I first started, and it's really neat. You can Google this. You can type in local Bitcoin ATM. You know, we have a lot of people doing that. You can go right there. You can feed cash in, and all of a sudden it gets on your wallet on your phone. And then and Larry and Sky, they taught us to get like a BitPay. And I think I see some people with Canadians. Danny must be up in Canada. Susan. Susan's up in Canada.
Yeah, I have a suggestion for Canadians. Please, keep healthcare free.
It's not.
It's not really free. And yeah.
No, that's another conversation.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get me started.
You don't get her started. No. Yeah, it's and we have instructions, so you know that's the cool thing. Once you sign up for your account, and it's right in the back office, it's right underneath the library in the resources section. It teaches you how to get the Bitcoin, you know, and that's what I love about USI Tech is it's literally right in there in the library, in the resources. So very easy business to set up. You have your affiliate link, and then you're ready to rock and roll. But we have trainings, so we can make sure you guys get on those as well. Great. Awesome. Well, what do you think, Susan? Should we end the recording, and then everybody can jump on the call tomorrow, and everybody can get started tonight?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Tammy and Susan, for inviting us on. We love to do it anytime. I'm glad we could make the connection by phone this time. It's perfect.
Yeah, and it was just a simple switch from hosting it as a webinar to hosting it as a meeting. So we're good now.
Great,
okay,
great.
Well, again, I echo Larry's comments. Thank you. Really appreciate you inviting us. Love to be here and help people. And, you know, as we know, everybody has a lot of questions when they're getting started. So we're just here to really help you have a smooth an experience as possible, build it up as much as you can. You know, somebody in another company that I'm actually still a member of, but I don't promote because I just love their products. Okay, that's all I'll say about that other company, except she was way upline, way at the top, and she said, in the beginning, she said, you know, if you want to walk, I'll walk with you. If you want to run, I'll run with you. And it was just so memorable, just the simple, that's how we feel. If you want to run with this, I mean, if you want to run with this, we will run with you. Whatever you want to do, let's help you get there and achieve what you want to create here.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We appreciate both of you immensely.
We sure do. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, guys.
David. for coming on. And next, what do you think? Next December the 7th, we can do this again. Same time, same channel.
Sounds great.
Let's double it.
Thanks,
Seems
guys.
to be a great platform. So let's keep this as an addition to all of the connections every Thursday. See you here.
Awesome.
All right.
Great.
Good night,
Have a good
everybody.
night, guys.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.